Okay friends, it's time to get started on our job. The first thing we're going to do is come right along this area here and pop this off using a plastic trim tool. Set this aside. Now the next thing we're going to do is remove this along here. Along the back side right here, there's going to be a little hook that comes under there, so go ahead and lift right on the front area. Pop it up, slide it forward, and then disconnect it. Always check your electrical connectors. If you see any funny colors or it looks like it's burnt in any way, it needs to be dealt with. With that out of the way, we're going to continue on to removing this bolt right here. Now on the door panel, you're also going to find a plastic lens right here. Ours is missing, but there's a screw right behind it. So go ahead and pop it out of the way and then remove that screw. Now we're just going to lift straight up on the door panel and get it out of the way. Don't forget that you're going to have the wiring for your little light bulb down there. Go ahead and twist that counterclockwise and remove it from the panel and then set the panel aside. Now we're just going to peel this back and expose our mirror wiring. Go ahead and press on this tab and then separate it. We're going to put this right into the door. Now it's going to be time to remove the mounting hardware for this. You're going to find a nut under here, under this one, and then if you were to remove this right here, you'll find two more. Let's start removing those. I'm going to go ahead and get this rubber out of the way. And this one. Use a magnet. Try not to drop that into the door. Now for the last one right here. I'm going to hold the mirror, of course. Carefully grab onto the mirror and start removing it from the door. There it is, friends. Let's start by putting the wiring into the door. We're going to go in through this square hole. Slide it right down in there. Now let's put the mirror onto the door. Line up those studs. Now we'll put on one of our mounting nuts. Just start in the other ones and then snug them up. Once I have them all snug, we're going to continue on to making sure that they're tight with a ratchet. Perfect. Now the wiring is going to be inside the door. If you wanted to, you could use some long nose pliers, grab onto the wiring, and bring it right over to this hole here. But if you didn't have some long nose pliers, or you couldn't for some reason do it, you could of course just remove the speaker as well. There's going to be some mounting bolts that hold it in. Slide it out of the way, reach your hand in, and then bring the wiring out through this hole. Now typically you're going to want to make sure you put this on as well. Ours isn't very sticky anymore, but you would essentially just put it on here like this. So you leave that hole open. Let's put in our two rubber plugs. It's going to be time to get our door panel back on here. To start, we're going to do this one because it's easy enough to forget. Line it up, turn it clockwise, lock it in. Now we're going to move up along here. We'll put our wiring through the door panel as well. Then we're going to bring the door panel up high. We're going to put the door lock through here. Once it's through there, you want to make sure you push the door panel up against the door so the hooks can line up with the door itself. Once you have all the hooks lined up, go ahead and give it a couple loving bonks and drive it down. Then of course feel along the entire door just to make sure the door panel is sitting perfectly. Now we're going to go ahead and put in our mounting bolts. Of course, if you have the cover here, go ahead and put that lens over as well. Now let's do the top mounting bolt as well. Now it's going to be time to get the door switches back in here. Click it in, give it a nice tug. Do the same to all the rest. Once they're all connected in, We're going to go ahead and put this backside in first. You got the hooky do. It comes underneath the handle assembly. And then of course we'll slide the forward end down and give it a loving bonk. Make sure it's nice and secure. Now let's get this trim piece on. You've got your little pitons. They're going to slide into the holes. Give it a bonk, latch it in. Okay friends, what's left to do now? Go ahead and put your key in the on position, switch it to left, and then of course test your mirror and make sure it functions properly.